And we are back. Hi, David.
Hey, Jackie, we are back. What has excited you about this week?
I've done a big thing actually, and it is quite hilarious. The old joke of I did it, I've been adulting. I actually did my tax for last year.
Congratulations.
I'm quite proud of myself.
It's a
Um,
big thing.
yeah, and I know, like personally, I do struggle with that. I don't know why, because when you do it, it's actually not that hard. But I think the idea of putting your tax through gets a lot of people. Just the idea of it, oh, I've got to sit down, I've got to work out all my financial things, and then I've got to go to the, fill out the government form, and for a lot of people that's a bit tricky. I know it is for me, so I feel
Yeah.
quite proud of myself.
I've had to be honest, it's one of the things I've just outsourced in business. And it
Yeah,
it costs money, but it made life a whole heap simpler.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What about you, David? What have you been up to?
I've done a lot of hygiene stuff this week, just taking care of lots of little things which have been accumulating. And here we are in May 2023, where we're kind of in that post-COVID era, and I'd put off a lot of things. So I've been to the dentist this week, I've been to the optometrist, I've had my hearing checked, I've just organized the electrical test and tag for my office. I'm getting my massage tables serviced. I've updated some forms. I've got my bookkeeping up to date, and I've just scheduled a whole bunch of stuff just so it's taken care of and I don't have to think about it again.
That is an enormous list. Oh my God.
You know that saying, long in the tooth?
Mm.
Yeah, so the dentist said to me, I can see that your gums are receding a little bit. It's common with age. That's where the expression comes from, long in the tooth. Oh,
Wow, okay.
did you just use the A word with me?
I had that when I went to the optometrist for the probably first time 3 years ago to because I knew my eyesight was deteriorating, and I was already over 40. And the optometrist said to me, "Oh yeah, this happens once you're over 40 or as you get older or something." And I was just like, "Excuse me."
Yeah,
I hate that. It's such a terrible thing, isn't it? Like
it
just because you're
is.
40, you're old. No.
Well, we're both in our 40s, and our bodies do change at about this time of our lives. And
Yeah.
a lot of my clients are of a similar age, kind of 40s and 50s, and it's a common theme as we talk about the things that are going wrong and how in our 20s we used to get hit by a bus and go dancing the next day, and now
Yeah.
you sneeze and it takes 3 months of therapy.
I have to say, one of my pet hates is when you've got a 20 something client on the table and they start telling you about how, their shoulder or their knee is just absolutely forked. And I'm just standing there like, oh, honey, like, no.
So, what are we talking about today, Jackie?
Well, we are actually talking about giving your best when you're not really feeling it. And so that doesn't mean physically feeling it. We are delving into the world of emotions today.
Ooh, the E word.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess this comes
yeah.
off the back of us both having a couple of big weeks with some significant stuff going on.
Mm,
Yeah.
yes. Very
And
emotional weeks.
having to front up to work, and you've still got to hold space for people.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell everybody what I was dealing with? I'm going to tell everyone what I was dealing with.
Yeah. I wasn't going to pry. It's real.
Yeah, this is some real talk today, guys. So people that know me will know that about 7.5 years ago, my mum passed away. And at the time, as I mentioned in episode one, I had my daughter, so she's nearly 8. Um, and at the time, I was going to have a couple of months off work, have my baby, recover from that, get used to feeding her and being a new mum, and then very gradually go back to work. What actually happened was My mum got sick just before my daughter was born. She never recovered. She got diagnosed with liver cancer a couple of months after she was born, or the next month, basically. And then she died at the end of that year. So all of that happened very, very quickly. And I ended up actually taking about 9 months off work. Part of that was because I'd had a new baby, but a huge part of it was because I had had to deal with all the stuff with my mum and everything that comes along with, you know, a relative dying, a very close relative dying. Anyway, fast forward to this last week. Uh, so coming up on Sunday, in a couple of days, it's Mother's Day, which is the same time every year in May, second Sunday of May. And also, early May is my mum's birthday. And my mum would have been turning 75 this year if she was alive, which is quite a significant milestone, really.
Yeah, it's a big anniversary.
It is. It is. The point of my story, so that's a bit of background. The point of my story is that last week, and it was just random. It was just completely random. On Thursday, I went to work, and I was thinking about my mum, knowing that her birthday was a few days away, and Mother's Day is a few days after that. And I basically spent Thursday crying between clients and had a really, it wasn't a bad day, but a very emotional day. So yeah.
Yeah, life stuff does happen, and I think sometimes some of our clients think that we're immune from it. But yeah, we are subjected to all of life's challenges, just like every other human being is. And
Oh,
sometimes that
absolutely.
will crop up, and we've just got to do the things. There we go. There's some cookie cutter advice. I was going to put in a note here of like we're not going to give you a cookie cutter advice today. But yeah, this is an episode of a couple of friends just talking about some real stuff, and real stuff does
Yeah.
happen to us, and we don't always know how to deal with it at the time either. Like for me, I let the sun go down on an argument, which is not a good thing, and things compounded, and it was some time before we addressed those things, and that starts to show.
Well, I guess we have to remember, and hopefully our clients remember, that we are only human and we have, kids or partners, elderly parents that we might be taking care of, extended family. We have life. Yeah, we go to work and we take care of people, but we also have all these other things that we have to take care of. Um, it's really tricky to manage a lot of the time. Yeah. I know I'm pretty good. This might be a bad thing, but I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing. So I can go to work and be really upset about something, but still look after my clients and take care of
Mm.
them. And I know I'm laughing a lot, but that's me also not trying to be vulnerable. I'm not happy about any of this. It's just me dealing with managing my emotions currently.
I think it's a pretty good thing to say that it's not okay to turn up to work drunk.
Oh my God. Who's doing that?
I worked in an office before I was a massage therapist, and there were a few people who would slip out at lunchtime. They close the door for a couple of hours after that break, and you knew that they'd been wave the air quotes in, with my hands,
Oh
dealing
no.
with their issues.
Oh. Yes, no. No, definitely not. I'm definitely not drinking my emotions. I do eat my feelings quite a lot, but no, definitely no. Please, guys, do not massage anyone while drunk.
A lot of our clients turn up with injuries because they've tried to exercise when emotional. Like they might have gone out for a bit of an extra longer run, or they tried to run up a hill and get their frustrations out and twang.
Yeah,
Now they're injured, and the thing that they
yeah.
used as a crutch to, again, air quotes, deal with their things is now absent to them. and, and now they're faced with the rawness of having to deal with things for real.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Look, life stuff does happen, and one of the challenges, like so many of us work in isolation. There are we do know there's massage therapists who work in clinics, and there's colleagues around them, and maybe have some form of support network. But many of us are either renting a room uh, by ourselves, or are working from home by ourselves, without that collegiate support. Um, yeah, so what do you do about that?
That is the question, isn't it? Um, I think a lot of people also don't want to talk to their colleagues. If you're working in a clinic with, other physios or massage therapists or a chiropractor or something, you might not
Mm,
want to talk to those people about what's happening in your personal life. So the biggest thing, I guess, is actually finding somebody that you do want to talk to, whoever that might be. And I'm going to use an example here from friends of mine who, over the years, have said to me that they absolutely pay for therapy. They see a psychologist or they see a counselor to help deal with some of the stuff that they have going on in their life, and also some of the stuff that happens at work. And some of these people have been doulas, so they're working in the birthing space, which can
mm,
get very messy, very emotional, and be very complex in some instances. And so they absolutely pay, they might pay $200 a month out of their budget to get counseling because they've told me they have to do that. It is absolutely something that they need to help manage their own feelings and to process everything that is going on at work. So paying for therapy is right up there, I have to say, as a thing that people should maybe be doing. Some
hmm.
people.
Our brains are more complex than our bodies, aren't they?
They are indeed.
Sometimes our brains have a bit of a freak out.
Yeah. Yeah. I often want a refund on mine. Sorry, it's not working properly. It's broken.
I just flicking back to that age thing, and like as I age, and I know my brain doesn't function like it used to, and I feel like the work experience kid is on duty upstairs sometimes, and I'm not
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially if you have complex emotional needs. If you're aware of that, sometimes you can be really good at managing it. If you have depression, you might be on medication. If you have anxiety, you might know what your triggers are and you can avoid them a lot of the time. But we still need to manage things when it's not going to
Mm,
plan. And that's the really tricky part, I
yeah.
think.
One of the worst pieces of advice I ever heard was when you're fronting up to massage is to leave your feelings at the door and just get on with it. Um, and look, I totally support and understand that we shouldn't be pouring our souls out onto our clients about all the nitty-gritty that's happening in our lives. That's a bit inappropriate. Um, anyway, I had a couple of people who they might whether they saw the way I carried myself or expression on my face, said to me, "Is everything okay?" And I think it's totally fine to say to those people, "Look, hey John, look, thanks for noticing. I've got a couple of complexities I'm working through right now, but I'm going to be okay." Um, and acknowledging your humanity to our clients, I think that is actually important because they go through stuff, we go through stuff, helps with everyone feeling normal rather than stigmatized. Um, but yeah, I've had therapists pour their hearts out over me before, and you'd end up coming away going, I feel traumatized after that session.
Yes. And this is exactly why it's a good idea to have that safe space to actually get those feelings out to someone who will listen, who is not your client that is paying you. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And at the end of one of the sessions, one of the clients said to me, "Oh, whatever's going on in your life right now, can you keep it up?" That was one of the best massages I've ever had. It's like, must have been channeling my emotion, or as I work through things in my brain, my hands are doing some stuff with them.
Oh my gosh. That is so interesting though, isn't it? How we process our feelings and the way that some of us work. We just so clued into, even without realizing it, our state of being, and people pick up on them, on those clues without knowing. And they might not have any clue what's going on with us. They might not know at all, but they're like, oh, something's different. So interesting. The brain is fascinating and ridiculous.
It needs to come with a user manual. How many updates would you get for it? It'd be worse than Windows.
Oh, it'd be like every 20 minutes, or it'd be three in your lifetime.
Yeah, yeah.
It's either way too many or nowhere near enough.
It's because you did take out a subscription.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not paying for that.
Who needs updates? Yeah, mine's got a virus, malware or something.
I definitely know mine's been rewired wrong. It's been wired wrong from the beginning. It's just not good. Somehow I've managed to make it work, but
Our clients can totally feel when we're absent from them. I have certainly had a massager. I felt like it might have been a corpse who was working with me, and they were just like so emotionally turned off, whether they were just directing their energy into other things or their focus into other things. But our clients do pick up on that, and it can be really, really off-putting.
yeah. I've actually had a client this year say that to me about another therapist who she didn't remember the person's name, and I don't know who they are, but she said that basically that same thing to me, that she was like that it was like the person just said, get on the table and did the thing, and were they even in the room when it happened?
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. I think
yeah.
part of what we do is that we do provide connection to our
Yes.
clients. Yeah, and that's, if depending obviously on exactly what we're doing, but for a lot of us, the client comes to us because they might need that connection,
Mm,
and that trust, and that a safe space. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, a large component of our work is compassion and nurturing. Um, and I've certainly had very mechanical massages in the past, but having a humanistic experience is
Hmm.
really beneficial. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy that as part of the massage experience.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
I know I do let my clients vent quite a lot, and
same.
often there will be quite a bit of conversation.
Mm.
Occasionally I have overshared and always regretted it afterwards. Like not in a like, they don't know my whole life history,
Mm.
or maybe some of them do, but
Yeah.
but you have to, if they want to vent, let them vent, but
Mm.
then don't take that on board as well.
Yeah. Our clients will tell us some very sensitive information, and some of it is
Yeah.
is it's quite confronting.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
And particularly if that's been your own life experience as well, it can be very triggering.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I know you've told me previously about a few people that have told you some very sensitive stories.
Mm.
Um, that yeah. Have we come up with any solution besides we all need to be in therapy to today's topic? Because I
Well,
can't think of anything else.
if you were to stick a number, pull a number out of the air and just have a guess at the percentage of your clients who are receiving therapy, what would it be?
Uh, I would say it's probably not enough. I know a couple that have told me that they are, and they go all the time, and
Mm.
it costs them a bit of money, and they do go.
Mm.
Um,
I'd say
I
easily
don't
half
know.
of mine are getting some form of counseling or psychological assistance. And if you think 20 years ago, we might have had a laugh at Americans who all seemed to to have a therapist. It popped up in movies all the time about, oh, this is my therapist. Oh, I'm in therapy or whatever.
Yes.
And as Australians, we go, therapist. We don't need a therapist.
We just drink a
And
lot.
yeah, exactly. That's how we
Sorry,
cope.
Aussies.
And then punch on afterwards. But it is
Yeah,
becoming increasingly more normal to get help.
absolutely, as it should be.
Yeah.
I think people, especially the last 3 years, have realized that life is very complex.
Mm.
We are living with a lot of anxiety generally and stress. With that massive amount of interconnectedness, you can find out what's happening anywhere in the world at any moment. And 99% of it is really bad. And how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? Particularly because as individuals, we feel like we can't do anything. We're helpless. The old, does one person really make a difference? Which I do think that one person can make a huge difference. But how can you fix things that are going on in other countries or even in other states? And how can you make
Hmm.
life better for people when you can't even fix your own stuff? I got really deep there, sorry.
Mm. You know that Dr. Carl is a bit of a boy crush for me. He's
Hmm.
very, very fascinating, and
Yes.
he'll often talk about the need for intervention with mental health, and he makes a throwaway comment that anxiety, for example, is as common as appendicitis. And if someone presented to the doctor's clinic with appendicitis, he wouldn't say, just go home, do some deep breathing, and you've just got to find a way to deal with it. You'd be whipped straight away into care because it's life-threatening, just as depression, just as anxiety, just as stress can be life-threatening. And normalizing care is a really important thing.
It's a very complex issue, mental health care. It's not one size fits all. It's not, this is the answer. There's
Mm.
so many layers to it. And because we have that massive amount of connection with what's happening elsewhere in the world, and not all of us are up on current world events, but we get bombarded with it anyway. I have literally had clients on my table tell me horrific things that have happened, news stories, not to them, but news stories. They have relayed things to me, and I cannot leave the room and get away from that traumatic information. And that's happened probably 3 or 4 times that I can remember. And I remember having a physical reaction to the person. I knew already had kind of heard what this really bad news story was about, and I had made the conscious effort to not find out any more information. And that person comes in and is telling you, oh, blah blah blah, did you hear about this, and did you hear about that, and isn't it awful? And I'm like trying not to throw up on them because I
Yeah.
feel so ill about what they have just told me you know so that's something else that we have to sometimes deal with, particularly if we're quite sensitive about certain topics.
Mm.
Yeah.
A lot of body workers are just sensitive to about many matters anyway.
Yes.
We're drawn to this profession because of that sensitivity to people.
Yes. Yeah. We want to care for people and look after them and make everyone feel happy and wonderful. And
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
It's important that we do show up for work each day. This is our livelihood after all. And we do need ways of getting through the day without vomiting our own problems onto our clients. But there is a time and place where things are big, they're significant, and taking time out is actually exactly what we need to do.
I think one solution is to have excellent boundaries. And that can be as simple as taking a day off, and you might not actually get the day off because you have kids and you've got to cook dinner and family things, whatever. But shut the phone off. Don't think about work. Take the day away from work. If you go to a 9 to 5, you often spend Saturday and Sunday not thinking about work at all. We need to do that as well as business owners. And I think some of us don't do that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you've probably had clients like this as well. I know I certainly have a few where they thrive on the misery of others. They gain some level of validation from you being miserable as well, and they'll bait you and try and sucker you in. And I have overshared with a couple of people previously, and so now it's like, okay, I can see where we're going here, and it's time to divert the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And even if you felt you're in a good place, a conversation with those people can leave you feeling like, oh my God, what has just happened? Am I okay?
I hate it when that happens. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, yeah, you feel quite yucky. You just feel really off. Yeah. And then I think that ends up contaminating the rest of your day, which is just awful. Yeah. This is where boundaries are so important. And I think as sensitive people, we need to know what we can and can't talk about. And you need to kind of be able to redirect conversations. Yeah, life is so complex. As the wise one Shrek says, layers. It's all layers. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. All right. Shall we wrap things up then, David?
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground again.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get it down to 15 minutes, but I doubt it.
I think it is unlikely.
We just like to chat too much. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. It has been awesome having you here, and can't wait to see you or for you to hear us again next week because you can't see us.
So if you like what we're doing, why don't you leave us a comment? You can find us through our Facebook page and our Instagram account. We now even have Twitter for those of you who like to follow Elon Musk and Dr. Karl. And why not leave us a rating through your favorite podcasting app? We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and more. You can subscribe so that you can be notified when a new episode is coming up.
Awesome. Thanks so much, David, for the chat today.
It's been good as always.